Alright, so welcome back to some more MX vs. ATV All Out. Today we're going to be reviewing the game, taking a look at it. Should you buy MX vs. ATV All Out? Specifically, we are going to be looking at the console version, the PS4 regular, not PS4 Pro, not Xbox One X, not PC, PS4 regular. It is also post 1.03 patch, pre 1.04 patch, or anything else that they've come out with to improve performance or bugs or anything like that. So if you're watching this later, obviously things have been improved and whatnot, but this was before that. And while I think this game is its own thing, it feels different than any other MX vs. ATV game, so it's hard to compare it. If someone were to ask me what does it feel more like, that's really hard to answer. I do think there are some things we can compare, which we do later on in the video, just to kind of give you a look at it, and so you can formulate your own decision based off of what you see here and any facts or opinions I might have. But we are going to jump into this, exactly how the game begins, heading to the Flying Moto Ranch. Alright, so the game just opens up right here. This is the ranch where after you start your system up, turn the game on, everything gives you the THQ Nordic, the Rainbow Studios, and the don't imitate these riding movements in real life. And then it loads into right here. Well, not specifically this exact spot, but this map. One of four big free roam open worlds that you can explore and hang out in and all that good stuff. And the tracks are here. A lot of the motocross tracks, the nationals are here, and some freestyle areas where you can practice your tricks and everything, but it just drops you in. It doesn't really hold your hand. I mean, everything is unlocked. All the events are unlocked. I mean, not all the vehicles and, you know, the bikes, the quads and everything, but in the parts. But as far as events go, everything's unlocked and ready to go. It just puts you in the game and tells you, go ride, go have fun. It doesn't make you do certain things to unlock events or anything like that. So it's a really fresh take on how the main menu, I guess, is supposed to look. So, and then you would hit pause to navigate between getting to the garage to customize, going to events or options or anything like that. And yes, cannonballing is most definitely still a thing in these MX vs. ATV games. So track design, track layout is really important to me, whether it's indoors or outdoors, because that's what I love about these games. I buy these games and play them for the racing, the flow that you can feel in these games, just the track side of the game. I mean, the whips are awesome. It's a bonus. The freestyle's cool. It's another bonus. But I buy the games and play them for the tracks and for the racing. That's what I like. And the supercross tracks were really well done. I really enjoy them. They're difficult enough to where it takes time to kind of get them down and figure out what the good lines are. A lot of the tracks have that one bigger, faster line, but then they also have the smaller, more consistent line, to where the consistent line really isn't that bad in this game. It's much more competitive than it has been in past MX vs. ATV games, so that's nice to see. And then they also kind of have that weird, awkward line where it feels like a big line, but you're in the air so long that it's debatable on how much faster it would be. So track design and track layout is really well done. One thing that I feel is a little on the weird side is the triples. A lot of the triples, it feels like you have to hold back a lot, like a lot. Even if you try to scrub it or whatever, it still feels kind of weird to me. They feel too small. There's a lot of triples on the supercross tracks to where it feels like it's almost an awkward quad. You know what I mean? Like there's a triple, but then there's like one more over it, but you're not really meant to quad it, but you can, but you're in the air so long that it's not worth it, so you just kind of hold back. And I don't know, it's a little on the weird side. Small complaint, no deal breaker or anything like that, just something to notice. And I know a lot of people were complaining about the tracks having the real names, and while I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just saying that I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Encore is the same way. Encore had two Anaheims. They had Anaheim, and then they had the 2017 replica Anaheim, and they called it 2017 Anaheim. So clearly, if they ever did replicas or anything, they could show the difference between them by just adding the 2017 or 2018 or whatever it was in front of the name. So Not a big deal to me, but might be to some. Now we are going to do a little comparison here on track width, since so many people were upset about how wide the tracks are. Let's see how wide this one is. Looks like you could probably fit 3 other bikes in there comfortably. Now I'm not talking about cramming them in, they just, comfortably. And we're going to throw it back to Unleashed and take a look here. Looks like 4. I mean, you could probably squeeze 1 or 2 more in, but again, we're trying to give each other some space. I know it's older, but nonetheless, could fit quite a few bikes. And then we have this game. Looks like about 3, so unless you've been living under a rock, you should know what game this is. Pretty comparable to All Out. And then we have Alive here. And I feel like this is probably one of the better scaled MX vs. ATV games, even though we fit a few bikes here. Now that also could have been based off the angle that I was facing, but still nonetheless, I feel like it's probably one of the better scaled supercross tracks, like MX vs. ATV supercross tracks in their games, I guess is what I'm saying. And now we are at the Nationals. This is Shadow Valley, a track that I really do enjoy. It feels kind of supercrossy and it's jumpy and kind of technical. And the other one is Amber Ridge. Those are the 2 national tracks that I remember the most, that I want to play on, that I really do enjoy running laps at, that I remember. The rest of them are really well done, okay? They're really well done. I just don't really, they're kind of generic. They're all kind of similar. I don't feel like everything else doesn't stand out. If you told me a name of another track, I wouldn't really know what it was. I mean, it doesn't feel special to me. And these 2 do. I really enjoy them. None of the other ones have that special thing, whether it was a jump or whatever it may have been, that makes me pick it apart from the rest of them, you know what I mean? So the Nationals feel a little generic, but again, it's such a small thing to me. It's not a deal breaker. It's just something to kind of take note of, that I feel like the Supercross tracks were better done and the Nationals are just a little too similar. Now the bike sounds, this is the 250 and then the 450 4-stroke will be next. I don't really have a problem with them. I know some people still don't like them. And while I don't think they're perfect and could definitely use work, it just doesn't bother me. They kind of grew on me after a while. I do think they sound like they're bogging. I wish they would rev a little bit quicker, I guess. I don't know. They just sound like you're always in too high of a gear, is basically what it sounds like. But the 2-strokes is what I think need the most work. I know a lot of people think that as well. The 125, 250, and 500, especially that 500, it just doesn't sound right to me. The 125 and 250 do sound quite improved with the last patch, but they still need a lot of work. When the 125 is like revving, when you pull in the clutch, it just sounds weird. It sounds awkward. It doesn't sound like it's part of the bike. So hopefully they can keep improving the sounds of that, and I'm gonna let you listen to them, and then you can decide for yourself what you think of the 2-stroke sounds. On to customization. Here we have the rider customization. Now I did speed the video up quite a bit. If you want to see the full customization, I have a part 3 or 4 full bike and rider customization. Go check that out if you're curious. Sorry, I was kind of like mumbling everything together. Anyways, the rider customization is really well done this time around, especially coming from Supercross Encore. It's much more in depth. You can choose female or male. It's not just like some gear sets are for male and some are for female or anything like that. Everything's interchangeable. Also, gloves are separated finally. So it's not like you choose your gear and then the gloves automatically come with it. You can customize every part of the rider, which is really cool to see this time around. The bike customization is well done this time too. You actually have like tier 1, 2, and 3 upgrades for a lot of things. So for instance, for your engine, for your motor, you can have level 1, 2, or 3. Level 1 is like 1,000 moto coins. Level 10 is 10,000 moto coins. Or level 3 is 10,000 moto coins. Moto coins are in-game currency, not DLC. And you get them by winning races and events and stuff like that. So not a big deal. The graphics kits, some of them you can actually adjust a lot on the color scheme and the saturation and all that good stuff. So you can customize quite a bit. They really did expand on the customization, which is something that a lot of people, myself included, have wanted to see for quite some time. So pretty pumped about that. Now we get into tuning here. And for tuning, it does affect the bike quite a bit. They brought it back. Glad to see it. If you're not happy with the way your bike is handling, come in here and tweak on this and then go test it on the track until you're happy with the way it works. And the BRAP feature is something new as well. It's where you can tune the AI to the way you want them to ride. You can customize the rider and the bike just like your own bike and rider. It costs moto coins, just like it would for doing it for yourself. And then you can adjust how they handle with aggressive, showboat, or reckless. Of course, the physics. We can't leave out the physics. We can't play a moto game or review a moto game without talking about physics. How are they? I like them, man. They are wicked free. I've seen some people saying the physics are too free now. They're too free. They're really free. When I went back to get that footage for those other MX vs ATV games, everything else felt kind of stiff. They're very free, and it takes some getting used to be honest with you. It's just, whipping is different, and while I'm not great at whipping or anything, the game's only been out for like 6 days or 7 days. It takes some getting used to. You can even throw these oppos, man, and they're a little more stiff than just a regular whip, but it's still really cool, and it looks cool. And I mean, I always have to come to more or less the same spot here because I can't really throw the oppo anywhere else. I'm just not good at it, but nonetheless, it's cool that you can do it. And I don't know, I like them. They are wicked free, and the bike feels light sometimes when you're whipping, but for the most part, it feels really good. I don't think it feels weird or awkward. The physics feel good in the game once you get used to them. And then I kind of wanted to show you here, when you hit a really good line, man, the flow, awesome. It's just awesome. But when you make a mistake, you can't correct yourself like you could in Encore, where you clutch boost, whip glitch, preload, back into first place. It just doesn't work. If you're not having some momentum, that preload just doesn't really do much for you. And then I have an example with Encore of what I'm talking about, where we're at the compound here, we wreck, and then we get back into it, first gear, clutch boost, and no problems. I mean, we're just ready to go again. No problems. Now, I kind of wanted to cover the multiplayer a little bit because it is different from Encore. Gone are the days of having this set playlist where everybody had to do the same thing all the time. You can actually create custom matches now, set up all the options the way you want, choose the events you want and how many. I think you can have 5 or 6, and then when they end, they just keep going once you restart it. Nobody leaves the lobby, actually, unless they want to. You also have 2 really sweet camera angles, like trackside. Typically, it's 2 different shots around each track, but I would like to see more, but that's just being kind of picky. This is freaking awesome. Also, Ghost Racing has made its way into MX vs ATV All Out, which a lot of people wanted in Encore, but didn't get it. So here it is. Really pumped to see it. If you don't have buddies that race online and you want to get faster, it's a good way to just push yourself to hit those wicked fast lap times, I guess. But really cool to see it in the game. Glad they decided to add it. So the series events are essentially the career. They remind me a lot of Reflex because they're just kind of laid out like that. It is a little bit repetitive, and it is better than it was with Encore, but I still want more. I don't want it to be so generic and so simple, and this feels somewhat simple to me as far as a career goes. And then here are the different camera angles so you can get a glimpse of what they look like. I do feel like the first person camera is so much smoother and better than it was in Encore. It does still feel a little bit, it feels soft, going over whoops and stuff and hitting any rough spots in the track. It feels like it's not bouncing, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So I think that could be improved, but for the most part, first person camera, much better than it was in Encore. Also, field of view, I would like to see that backed out to some degree. And then there's a custom camera that you can see here where you can totally manipulate where it's at and how close it gets and everything. Kind of like an Encore, but even more so, I think. You can even get closer and farther away. And one of the final things I kind of wanted to cover was the racing against the AI, the performance on consoles, specifically the PS4. So we're racing against the AI here on a supercross track. I'm not sure exactly which one. You can see our frame rate's kind of dropping, and it's stuttering and sputtering and lagging a little bit, and it's unfortunate. This is one of the tracks that I think runs a little bit worse. Not all of them are like this, but I kind of wanted to find one of the tracks that was not as good as the other ones, just so you could see it. Now, they did put out a patch on day one of release on the 27th to slightly improve the performance, to fix save game data, and to slightly improve the two-stroke sounds, which they did. And they've said they want to attack this aggressively approach the patches for all platforms, PC, PlayStation, Xbox, all that stuff. So I really do believe in a short period of time they will have the performance issues ironed out. Maybe not perfect, but I think to where it's not like this. This is Turtle Bay. This national run's pretty rough. Okay, not all of them are this bad, but I wanted to find one of the ones that ran worse than the other ones. Some of them run really good. Some of them kind of run in between, and then ones like this, it's like, whoa. Now, I do feel like they improved it slightly from that last patch already, and that was just a quick one for the 27th when the game came out. Now, I will compare it a little bit to PC, because on PC, it runs really good. I mean, occasionally I'll get like a little bit of stutter, a little bit of frame drop, but for the most part, the game runs solid, looks great. This same track, and it's against the AI, the footage that you're going to see here of it on PC. So I think it has the potential to run really good on console. I mean, it's not going to run like it's running on PC, but I think it has the potential to run really smooth, and I think they can do it. It just give them a little time. I know it's a bummer that the game came out. You want everything to work really great, and I share your frustration. But I really do believe they're gonna get this going and get this wrapped up. But let's throw in our final thoughts here. So this isn't for the person that's already made up their mind. This isn't for the person that decided they're gonna 1, buy the game, or 2, not buy the game. This is for the people that are on the fence, or the people that came across the game and are curious to see what other people are saying about it. I'm gonna say I really do enjoy the game. I don't think that's any surprise. I do share a lot of people's frustrations with the launch issues that are happening on console. On PC, it's just not really that big a deal. The game runs really good on PC. Now, I do have some multiplayer issues, I guess I should say. Some multiplayer issues and a few other little bugs and whatnot. But for the most part, it's just, as far as running and playing by myself, the game runs awesome. And I really think it can be like that on console if we give them some time. And I don't think it'll take too long. They want to get this done. They want to make the game run as best as they possibly can. But that's why I wanted to show you everything. Again, if you're still here, this is after patch 1.03 on the PlayStation, but before any other patch. So if you're coming across this video later, they very well might have fixed it. Now, if they have fixed things after I have this video, like big things, I will try my best to stay up to date in the comments and pin my comment to the top with any news that they have mentioned or anything that I found as playing it after downloading patches and stuff like that, because I want it to be the most up to date so you can make up your own decision. But even aside with any problems the game has with the frame rate, with the two-stroke sounds, with the bugs, whatever, the game is fun. Even like that, I am enjoying playing the game even like that. If the game was not fun, with the bugs that it's having and the frame rate issues and stuff, I don't think I would be playing the game anymore. So even the way it is right now, just right now, it is incredibly fun to play. And I really do believe it's just going to keep getting better, and they'll get it to where it needs to be. I mean, some of that frame rate I think is going to need a lot of love, like I said, but I really think they're going to get it to a solid, respectable point. And yeah, I think it's worth it. For $50 on PC, I believe it's a little bit cheaper, like 40 or 35 or something. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's worth it. I think it's a plenty good enough game to be paid $50 for. And I really do believe it will be improved from its current state right now on consoles. So you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.